So we're here in Wareham at this beautiful property where we're actually here to take some baseline samples. There's going to be 3 pillars that we consider as soil health. There's the biological properties, there's the chemical properties, and physical properties. We actually would like to start with the physical properties. This is a tool where you can actually look at how hard your soil is. This gauge is actually measuring pounds per square inch. Diversity starts to crash at 200 psi. Without the biology, you don't have the enzymatic expression, you don't have all of the functioning that your plants need and associate with that microbiome. If my soil is too tight, that means that I don't have enough oxygen getting into my soil. If I don't have enough oxygen into my soil, my microbes are not breathing. Plants are obligate aerobes, meaning that they need oxygen to survive. If it's not photosynthesizing to its max capability, it's probably not going to be attracting the things that you're gonna try to attract. The way to perform this test is you actually apply steady pressure. I'm already way over those 200 psi. I'm actually getting to 300 psi. Whenever you see a lot of dandelions, that's an indicator that there's actually soil compaction. They're trying to decompact that soil with those tap roots and also bringing some more calcium to the surface. So now I'm pressing slowly here. This is way better over here. I'm at 3 inches at still 200 psi, so already some level of compaction. Infiltration test is very simple. In this case, I have a 6-inch drain pipe that's been shaved off. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna insert this into the soil a bit, put a little plastic over it, run some water through it. It's gonna simulate about 1 inch of rainfall. We're gonna measure how long it takes for that water to infiltrate. This is important because now you have 2 sets of data that are somewhat telling you something similar and proxies to one another. The penetrometer is telling you how hard the soil is, how compacted. It's giving you some hardness. These are the materials that you're gonna need. You're gonna need a ring. You're gonna need some water. This is about 450 mils of water. You're gonna need a timer to time how long this is taking. Also a piece of plastic. This is gonna help retain the water before we actually start the infiltration test itself. We take our nice little ring, press it into the soil about a couple inches down. We're then going to cover this, add our water, and then we just simply observe. This took about 13 seconds to completely infiltrate, so it's perhaps best to do this twice. I don't expect that number to change much. Again, we pour in our water and start the timer. You want a nice, slow, steady infiltration, not too slow where it's pooling or puddling, but fast enough where it's actually gonna absorb and not run off. So right now, we're almost there at about 40 seconds. This is about the right amount of infiltration that we would wanna see. Those 13 seconds were not true to what was going on. Now that that's field capacity and we're seeing 47 seconds, that's a good infiltration right there. We know from the penetrometer data that it's highly compacted already. This infiltration rate is gonna be very, very slow, and it may actually pool water on here, right? Dumping that, and we start. It's starting to wick on the sides because I wasn't able to get it deep in, but that's pretty much a pool of water right now. It's not sinking at all. We're already at 47 seconds. And this is not going anywhere. If any rain event will come through here, the rain will probably just wash right through here. This will just run right off along with dragging all the topsoil with it too. A lot of that life is actually concentrated on those first 3 inches. A storm event that just washes that away. There goes your microbes along with the nutrient cycling, along with the minerals. So now it's collect soil. You can compartmentalize the soil in 2 different ways. Soil that's bulk, meaning that it's not associated with a plant. And then there's rhizosphere soil. The rhizosphere soil is basically anything that's about 6 millimeters away from roots. I have this soil probe here. If you don't have one of these, you can actually use an apple core, you can use a shovel, you can use scoops, whatever you have on hand. Let's actually go ahead and demonstrate this quickly. Just gonna go ahead and press this down. And as you can see there, I went about 4 inches deep. A nice little earthworm showed its face there. They say about 10 earthworms in a 1 foot square hole is considered a good indicator of soil health. We'll take 1 gram of this soil to 5 mils of water. The idea is that those microbes will actually be removed from the aggregates of the soil. I like to analyze samples within 24 hours of collecting them. I like to keep with me a little cooler. That way I can actually put these in the cooler as I collect. They don't dry out and you're not changing the conditions too much. By extracting these samples, we can getting a lot of information, believe it or not. What better way to know if there's life in the soil but to visualize it? It doesn't tell you what species you're looking at, but it tells you at least who's there in terms of trophic levels. Primarily, we're looking at bacteria, fungi, protozoa, and nematodes. If we're missing the life of the party, which could be any of those groups, it's going to be a dull party, right? The food that's going to go around is going to be limited. If we don't have the mycorrhizae fungi bringing food and water back, we're going to have some very dehydrated partygoers. If we have a fungally dominant soil, that tells us about succession, right? How our soils are functioning at this time. If I have a bacterially dominated soil, you're more likely to produce more nitrates than you are to produce ammonia. And the reason for that is because bacteria produce more of those nitrates, while as fungi produce more of the ammonia. By looking at who's there, who's eating who, we're determining if we have nutrient cycling. We are also determining whether or not we're humifying the soil. That can't happen if you don't have the proper microbes in your soil. And you can actually visually see that humification by looking at this microscopically too. Do I have a lot of microaggregation? If I have a lot of microaggregation, that means that I have a lot of these little pockets for niches for different microbes to live in as well. This has a module on this. What that does is that it actually shines a very specific wavelength of light. And by shining a very specific wavelength of light, it actually autofluoresces. A good example of something that would autofluoresce are mycorrhizae fungi. So far, we actually took a look at the sample from the road, and as expected, we are seeing that soil was nice and tight, poorly infiltrated. Basically what we found was a bacterially dominated soil. For the soils that are actually now transitioning and been in production a little longer, you can actually see how there's better aggregation. You can see a little bit more humification with humics and fulvics actually coming into play. More diversity compared to that soil that actually was from the road. This is actually a soil that's functioning, that's working, that is actually partnering with the communities around, functioning in one system, saving the water that we're right next to as well.